Confederates joined with the Indians in the Southwest states and continued to fight the Bluecoats. So you might see an arrow wound. Shortly into the Civil War, the Graycoats naturally gave the Indians rifles. But I'm going to show you what would happen if there wasn't an arrow wound. An arrow is a peculiar weapon in that it's basically a straight stick with a slot tied into it. It push a stone or a metal contoured arrow and then wrap it with wet leather sinew like a string. When it dries, real tight, when it dries it becomes really tight. It will not come off unless you add water again. When somebody's been shot in about 15 or 20 minutes, this is all wet again. That arrow sticks in a bone and I pull hard, the shaft's going to come out, the arrowhead will stay in, and they will die, no matter where they're shot. They will get infected and die. During the Civil War, infections were seen, but they hadn't a clue what was causing them. So once infections started, that was just about it. They didn't know how to stop it. So what we're going to show you is how to take that out. I've got a great tool.
I'm going to watch in just a second.
It's an arrowhead forceps, and let me show you how it works. Pretend I've been stuck with an arrow. I clamp it over the shaft, like that. Push it in the hole until it hits the back of the arrow, open it up, go around it, and push it out almost like that.
Wow.
And before we give chloroform and ether, which they had plenty of during the Civil War, we don't want to waste it, we see if we can wiggle it out. Gently. Hold the soldier down. Hold down the waist. That's it. Strain. Other.
It's okay, son.
We are so coordinated in this. Okay, it can't come out. So we're going to have to really pull with this tool I showed you. So first we're going to put the patient under with chloroform and ether. She'll show you how that's done. Basically, she has an ether cone. It's just filled with cotton balls. Soak it, but not dripping. And then hold it a couple inches above the nose as the patient breathes regular air and the fumes. In about 20 minutes, they pass out and cannot feel anything. So the patient's asleep. I clamp on just like I was showing you there. Push down here, hit around the arrowhead, and pull it out just like that. Now the next thing we have to do is check for damage. We have to probe in there because if there's too much damage, infection will set in, gangrene will set in. That's what the black feet you're seeing there. That's effects of gangrene. You slowly turn black. And the patient will die. We don't want that to happen. So if I see a lot of damage, I know I've got to amputate this. The way I check it with the probe is my finger.
That's gross.
Whoop. What's that? What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, there's a lot of damage. I think I'm going to have to do an amputation. But we have razor-sharp amputating knives. By the way, in the toolkits they had during the Civil War from the factory, all the bladed instruments were dull. The surgeons were expected to sharpen all their own knives. So basically, they get that sharpened knife, go back the rag, cut it like this. Now, gotta cut the bone. Now, if you'll take your hands, you're not a piano player, are you?
No.
Good. Okay, if you put one hand here and one hand here, the other way. Okay, just bend. And I'll pry back, so exposing the bone. Then I'll get this saw with that. No.
Yes.
Cut it like that, and then throw it out there. Good reflexes on the right side. The next thing we have to do is tie off the major arteries. That took most of the time on these surgeries. By the way, 20 minutes to put them out. Typical surgery like this, 30 minutes. They were very, very fast. But this took most of the time. Now what they have to do, you can release now. Good, good. The cut along here kind of looks like hamburger covered with ketchup in real life. And it's just covered, you can't really see anything. It's just a mass of mush. So what they have to do is release the tourniquet. The heart's been pumping the whole time, but it's stopped the flow right here. When they release the tourniquet, the arteries can be found by looking for the spurts of blood coming through the muscle tissue. And they'll use a device called a canaculum. It's kind of like a fish hook. And an artery is kind of like your aquarium tubing. It's very tough. If I can just snag it, I can pull it right out and then tie it off with suture material. They do not cauterize with hot irons. I stopped doing that many years ago. So they tie off with cotton, silver, thread, or especially in the South when they ran out of supplies, horsehair worked just great, especially for internal surgery because it's biodegradable. So they would loosen the tourniquet and then watch for the, there's an artery, there's another, there's another one. It just kind of squirts like rubber hose, doesn't it? Yeah, there it is. And then tie each of those off. Now the next thing is to pack the wound, especially if it was infected. In this box, the top piece, if you pull that out, it's called Sharpay. In your time, it's called gauze. Well, that hasn't been named or invented during the Civil War. That's what they used to pack wounds. And if I could have that bloody chunk of it, there. If there's any parts, just put it at the bottom of the can. They would usually wet this, shove it in here with suture material, partially close it up, especially if it was infected. Back and forth, changing this dressing every 2 to 4 hours. And do that for days or weeks or more, and slowly close this thing up until the patient heals or died of infection. Half of them would die from a typical operation like that. So that was your big casualty rate that you've heard about and so forth. So the next thing we're going to do, let's kind of go ahead in time, is to wake the patient up. We simply do that with a fan and give them fresh air. Recuperate. Let's see how that turns out.
Shock.
Lad, you're okay, You're not going to die. I had to cut your leg off.
What?
You're not a dancer, are you?
Yes.
Not anymore. He could, but he's dead now.
He died for a loyal cause.
And that's how surgery went back in. Could I have a hand for this professional reenactor?